Criminal conspiracy to possess a controlled substance, unlawful use of a two-way communications device, 2 counts. Are you asking that I appoint an attorney to represent you?
No, ma'am.
You're going to hire private counsel?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know who you're going to hire?
Michael Bross.
Okay, I think it's probably too late for me to call him for you.
He's already called.
Oh, you see?
He knows.
Okay. I'll order 10,000 on count 1, 10,000 on count 2, 2,000 on count 3, and 2,000 on count 4, and there'll be no contact with the co-defendants, no weapons, firearms, or ammunition, and no use or possession of illegal drugs.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Charles Hill? Good afternoon, Mr. Hill.
How you doing, ma'am?
Sir, you're charged with violation of the RICO Act, conspiracy to traffic in methamphetamine, conspiracy to traffic in methamphetamine. The first one was 28 to 200 grams. This second one is 14 to 28 grams. And 2 counts of unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Are you asking that I appoint an attorney to represent you?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, he has registry Ms. Tynan on his other cases.
Okay. I'll appoint Ms. Tynan
Is that correct?
as
Yes, sir.
registry counsel. Okay, and the 100,000 count 1, 100,000 count 2, 100,000 count 3, 2,000 counts 4 and 5. And there'll be no contact with co-defendants, no use of possession of illegal drugs, and no weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Good luck to you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
This is how we did that one. Tammy Halsey. Oh, did we do Tammy Halsey? She's not here.
Ms. Halsey bonded out, Judge.
Okay.
And Judge, Mr. Hutchison won't make it again today.
All right, we've set him for tomorrow, right?
Thank you.
Second one should get Lubin.
Excuse me?
At Labor at Lubin, L-U-B-I-N.
All right. John Lubin.
Judge, Mr. Lubin intends to hire counsel.
I need a, one of these things. Good afternoon, Mr. Lubin.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Sir, you're charged with driving while license suspended with knowledge, possession of less than 20 grams of cannabis, 2 counts, use of possession of drug paraphernalia, 2 counts, and possession of a controlled substance without a prescription. Are you asking that I appoint an attorney to represent you?
I'm going to hire my private attorney, Your Honor.
Do you know who you're going to hire?
No, not right now.
Okay.
And it says with knowledge, but I had no knowledge that my license was suspended, and I actually did give him my physical driver's license too. I had no knowledge.
Okay. All right, I'm going to ROR him on count 1, ROR count 2, ROR count 3, ROR counts 4 and 5, and what was the controlled substance?
One of the things, he has,
Marijuana.
No,
he has a DUI in his past. Just
I know.
don't mention that.
I saw that, but he said he didn't know his license was suspended.
Really?
I don't know if that's true or not.
That's not what the David report says, is that,
How long has it been suspended?
well, he failed to complete an abuse treatment in 2000, effective, notices provided in September 6th of 2018. So
What did he have in 2018?
he failed to comply with substance abuse treatment.
Okay, then I'll order a $500 bond on count 1. All right, and on count 6, I need to know what the substance was.
It was the THC oil.
THC oil. That's. Did they do a field test?
Yes. Let's see. The green leafy was tested positive. I'm not sure whether or not they tested it, the oil.
If it doesn't say they did, then tested the leafy substance. There was also some with THC oil inside it, but we don't know if it was THC oil. It didn't say. So there's no PC on count 6 because it didn't say that it was tested. So the bond, so it's ROR. So the bond amount for the whole thing is $500.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No PC on count 6 because it didn't say it was field tested. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Are we on Edward Merrick now?
I believe so, that's fine as well.
Edward Merrick? Good afternoon, Mr. Merrick.
How you doing?
Sir, you're charged with solicitation to sell methamphetamine, conspiracy to possess methamphetamine, unlawful use of a two-way communications device. Are you asking that I appoint an attorney to represent you?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the public defender, and the bond amounts $15,000 count 1, $5,000 count 2, and $2,000 count 3. And there'll be no contact with the co-defendants listed in the affidavit, no use of possession of illegal drugs, and no weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Joshua Moore.
Your Honor, Mr. Moore intends to hire counsel.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Moore. Good afternoon, sir.
Hi.
So you're charged with conspiracy to traffic in methamphetamine, 14 to 28 grams, and unlawful use of a two-way communications device. Are you asking that I appoint an attorney to represent you?
No.
Are you going to hire private counsel?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, do you know who you're going to hire?
No.
Okay. I'll order $100,000 on count 1 and $2,000 on count 2, and there'll be no contact with the co-defendants, no listed in the affidavit, no use of possession of illegal drugs, and no weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Good luck to you, sir. Ronald Morales?
Your Honor, we'll need an interpreter for Mr. Morales.
You're kidding. Can you get
Is Deputy Diaz?
the gentleman, the deputy who speaks Spanish? He's here.
Your Honor, booking is still very, very busy right now. I can pull him, but it was my impression that they have to be certified through the state of Florida to be an interpreter for court.
I don't need that. Please get him for me.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's just to be.
Judge is ordering us to get.
All right, siéntese, señor. Brittany Nord, oh no, we did that one. Okay, no IP needed. How about Dean Postier? Did I miss somebody? Good afternoon, Mr. Postier.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Sir, you're charged with sale of methamphetamine, 3 counts, possession of methamphetamine, 3 counts. Are you asking that I appoint an attorney to represent you?
Yes, ma'am. I have a conflict attorney
He
already.
has Mr. Masters.
Okay?
I don't know, is he registry? I'm not sure.
He's a master's law firm.
Yeah, but his.
Was
then
he
must
appointed?
Yes, yes,
Registry then.
yes, registry.
All right, I'll appoint Mr. Masters as registry counsel. And I'll order $15,000 on counts 1, 2, and 3, and $5,000 on counts 4, 5, and 6.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good luck.
When's my next court date?
Is he on the list? Okay. Next court date is June 4th for an arraignment.
Thank you, ma'am.
Your Honor, we've missed Parker,
We missed Parker.
but just for the record, there's no IP needed. I don't know if he's,
Said that. That's why I didn't do it.
I didn't know if he was present if they brought him.
Mr. Parker, what's your name?
Jamari Parker?
Oh, it says here no IP is needed because you went to,
I believe everything was addressed yesterday in outside court.
Not that we don't want you.
Yeah,
you're not
so we
needed.
just need to let him know that he has no bond on his F2.
There's no bond on your failure to appear, sir.
All right.
Okay.
He has counsel in a future court date.
And Mr. Martinez is representing you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good luck to you, sir. Now we're on Nicholas Redmond, is that correct?
Your Honor, I believe Mr. Redmond has registry counsel on his other cases. I'm trying to figure out who the attorney is real quick.
Okay.
Oh, it's
And-
Melissa Pete.
And Your Honor, Deputy Prez is busy at the moment in booking.
He can come down for 5 minutes.
I just went and talked to him myself. He said he's very busy.
All right, we'll have to call language line. We'll do that at the end. All right, Mr. Redmond? Okay, sir, you're charged with violation of the Conspiracy Act, conspiracy to traffic in methamphetamine, unlawful use of a two-way communications device, and the second case is on onside violation of probation. Are you asking that I appoint an attorney to represent you?
Yes, I have regional counsel already.
No, not regional.
Conflict attorney, I mean.
Okay, don't worry about it.
His registry is Melissa Pete.
Right, I see that.
I don't know if you heard me before or not.
Right. I'll appoint Registry Counsel Melissa Pete. And the bond amounts on count 1, the 100,000 count 2, 2,000 count 3, and on the second case on the violation of probation, there's no bond.
He's AMA.
And please note for the record, he qualifies under the Anti-Murder Act. And the conditions are no contact with the co-defendants, no contact with the, no use of possession of illegal drugs, and no weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Good luck to you, sir.
When's my next court date?
Your next court date. Okay. That's June 4th.
June 4th.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. God bless you.
Did Postier, did he get the,
Your Honor,
Say that
Your Honor.
again?
Postier?
Judge,
No. I think I might have. No, RC, Registry Masters. Sure. Mr. Kennedy, were you saying something?
Judge, Mr. Morales thinks he might be able to get through this without an interpreter. You want to try it?
All right, it's just initial appearance. Mr. Morales? I don't think so. Mr. Morales, you're charged with a violation of probation. You understand what I just said?
Yeah.
What did I say?
The probation.
What
This is
about-
this is my charge.
It's a violation of your probation.
Okay.
What was the violation? Yeah, we've got to have an interpreter. No, we'll wait for it. We'll call language line. Espero por un intérprete.
Okay.
Siéntese.
He just want to try, Judge, so.
Yeah, that's not okay. Jason Rios.
And Judge, Mr. Rios intends to hire counsel.
Good
Afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Rios. You're charged with solicitation to sell heroin, conspiracy to possess heroin, and unlawful use of a two-way communications device. Are you asking that I appoint an attorney to represent you?
I've already hired private counsel.
Okay, and the bond amounts are $15,000 on count 1, $5,000 on count 2, and $2,000 on count 2, and there'll be no contact with co-defendants, no use of possession of illegal drugs, and no weapons, firearms, or ammunition.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Get that one. I think we're up to August Roos. Good afternoon, Mr. Roos.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
So this is a non-support case. You can purge by paying $8,000, but you will be released today.
I will be.
Yes, because the next court date is until May 6th. You need to be there at 1 o'clock and don't miss court.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm ROR today on it, right?
Yes.
Correct. Thank you. Have a good
Pay
day.
your money.
I will.
Needs-
I'm sorry, like I could explain,
No,
but
don't.
it's probably not your case. Thank you.
Good luck to you. Jeffrey Sheehan. Mr. Sheehan, this is a non-support case. The purge amount is $5,000, but you will be released today, and you need to show up in court on May 6th, and you need to pay that money.
All right.
Good luck to you, sir.
Thank-
How about Joseph Springer? Good afternoon, Mr. Springer.
Good afternoon.
Sir, you're charged with conspiracy to possess methamphetamine, 2 counts, and the unlawful use of a two-way communications device, 2 counts. Are you asking that I appoint an attorney to represent you?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the public defender, and the bond amounts are the 10,000 count 1 and 2, and 2,000 counts 3 and 4, and there'll be no contact with the co-defendants listed in the arrest affidavit. And no weapons, firearms, or ammunition, and no use of possession of alcohol or no use of possession of illegal drugs.
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck to you, sir.
You too.
Douglas Taylor. Mr. Taylor, you're charged with a violation of probation, and your bond is $25,000, and you're to report to probation within 48 hours of your release.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, sir.
You as well.
I'm sorry, was there an appointment on that, Judge?
I didn't even ask. Are you asking that I appoint an attorney to represent you?
Yes, please.
I'll appoint the public defender. Thank you.
What's the court date, may I ask?
Yeah, June 14th.
June 14th.
Yeah, it'll be on your paperwork.
It's June 14th. How about Marcus Ward? Good afternoon, Mr. Ward.
How you doing?
Sir, you have 2 cases. The first, you're charged with resisting arrest with violence, giving false name or identification to a law enforcement officer. I didn't say-
I have
Hold on.
without violence.
Hold on. It's with violence.
With violence?
Yes. Madam Clerk,
My
if I don't
paperwork
state
says without.
otherwise- Please, I'm talking, so you're not. If I don't state otherwise, I do find probable cause, and I did find probable cause in the previous cases. Okay. Now, resisting arrest with violence and giving false name or identification to a law enforcement officer. The second case is a violation of probation.
Judge, he's right, it is just resisting without.
It should be resisting without. You agree with that, Mr. Lochran?
Yes.
Okay, so then it shouldn't be a 3rd-degree felony. It should be a 1st-degree misdemeanor.
That's correct.
It came as a misdemeanor anyway, Judge. It's a misdemeanor case.
Okay. Then on the first case, what are you asking for?
500 for each count, Your Honor.
500 count 1, 500 count 2. Any objection?
No, ma'am.
And on the second, and on the violation, I'm going to dismiss the on-site because there's already a violation of probation, and there's no bond on that.
He's AMA, Your Honor.
And please note for the record, he qualifies under the Anti-Murder Act. Good luck to you, sir. Tabitha, did we do Tabitha Wilbanks? Yes. I did. We did that. We did that. How about Edward Stanyard?
It's the 33rd day, Judge.
Good afternoon, Mr. Stanyard.
How are you, ma'am?
Has the state filed?
Yes, the state has filed a information including consolidating 2 cases, 5 counts.
I guess I should. Okay.
Do you know where we might find that, Mr. Lochran?
Well, hell's bells. I have it right here, and let me take a look, because they allegedly had a number. Let me check my
Yeah, I'm not seeing it on ICMS.
my thing.
Judge Brown said they did not file yesterday.
They sometimes, excuse me?
Yeah, I can give you the number. 88769985.
Do you have the information in front of you?
I do.
Okay. They did file.
There was two different, did they file on both or they file on one?
They consolidated them into one case. Thank you. All right, we have, count 1 is stalking, count 2 is stalking, count 3 is violation of injunction, and count 4 and 5 are also violations of an injunction. Now, the violation of the injunctions, there were 3 counts at 15,000 each, that remains in effect. And the stalking, what was that? I don't have that here.
I don't either. I don't have that. I don't know.
I don't have the other case. Let me look at
There was two different arrests.
I know, they're putting them together into one case.
So they just, it was my understanding that they filed on the arrest that took place on the 30th, and the one on the 28th was not filed.
Yeah, but they put the counts from one onto the other.
So this stuff allegedly occurred on the 25th of March?
It says March 25th, yes. And then the last 2 were March 28th.
Just for clarification, Mr. Lockwood, you said that was all filed under case number 22385?
Let me make sure.
It was filed under case number 22385.
That is correct.
Thank you.
I just need the amounts for the stalking. What are sitting bonds? Let me look at that. Stalking, there was 1 count on this case. It was $500.
Yeah, I would just 500 for each of the stalking counts.
Any objection to that?
No, Judge.
500 for each of the stalking counts.
How many stalking counts are there?
2.
And what date did these occur on?
It says it occurred on March 25th.
What did I do on March 25th? I have no, I'm the victim. These people have victimized me over and over. I have no idea what happened on March
Well, the
25th.
best thing to do is...
I was in the library on
I'm
March.
talking now, so you're not. The best thing for you to do would be to talk to your attorney about it. Don't talk about it in open court, because everything you say here can be used against you.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then there's going to be no contact with the victim, and actually, instead of I'm going to put comply with the injunction as the...
Excuse me?
The conditions on this case is comply with the injunction.
Yeah. Are you aware that these people were under felony investigation for theft?
Okay, that really isn't for me to look at right now, sir.
Per Commander Augello from the Palm Bay Police and the State Attorney's Office Felony Division.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Can you explain this to me?
All right, now we need to go. We need to call language line.
So when did this occur? I don't have glasses on. What happened on March 25th is what I want to know. This is all of it right here?
Those people in booking. Tomorrow.
Welcome to Language Line Solutions. Please enter your 6-digit client ID. For Spanish, press 1. Or up, please enter the 5-digit extension number. Please hold for an interpreter.
Thank you for calling Language Line Solutions. This is Gerardo, ID number 219982. I will be your Spanish interpreter today. Is your customer with you, or would you need me to call him for you?
Sir, we're in open court. Will you please raise your right hand, sir? You swear affirm testimony you give will be, the translation you provide will be a true and correct translation of what is being said.
I do.
Okay, thank you. I have standing before me Mr. Ronald Morales.
Thank you. Ready for your instructions.
Please interpret that.
Estamos aquí con el señor presente, Ronald Morales.
Así es.
Sir, will you raise your right hand? You swear affirm testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Señor, levante su mano derecha y díganos que si va usted a decir la verdad y nada más que la verdad.
Sí.
Sir, you're charged
Yes.
with a violation of probation.
Señor, usted está presentándose los cargos de haber incumplimiento de lo que fue su fianza.
Sí.
Are you asking that I appoint an attorney to represent you?
¿Está usted solicitando de que se le asigne un abogado para que lo represente?
Sí, pero tengo un hold de migración y ellos me entregaron a la migración y ahorita no sé por qué me trajeron otra vez y la migración ya me va a arrestar.
Yes, but I have an immigration hold and I don't know why they brought me here again because immigration is going to arrest me.
I have no knowledge about immigration, but right now, I will appoint the public defender as you requested.
Señor, nosotros no tenemos ningún conocimiento sobre lo de migración, pero ahorita se le va a asignar a lo que es un defensor público tal y como lo pidió.
And your, and your bond amount is $5,000.
Y lo que sería su fianza que se le impone ahorita serían $5,000.
And you need to report to probation within 2 business days of your release.
Y se tiene que reportar usted con lo que es libertad vigilada dentro de los siguientes 2 días de su liberación.
Okay.
Do you have any questions, sir?
¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta, señor?
Sí, el siguiente día de corte no sé cuándo tengo.
When would it be my next court date?
The next court date will be on June the 14th at 9 o'clock before Judge Jacobus in Vieira.
June 14th at 9 a.m. with Judge Jacobus.
Sería el 14 de junio a las 9 de la mañana con el juez Jacobis.
Ok, está bien.
Okay, that's fine.
Buena suerte.
Gracias.
Thank you, Mr. Interpreter.
You're welcome, Your Honor, and thank you for using our services. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Thank you.
It might be worse tomorrow. All right, we're finished digital. We can go off the record, and please turn off that.
Kofi Kennedy Swanson on behalf of the Office of the State Attorney.
Cody Jordan on behalf of the Public Defender.
Good morning, sir. Can you please tell me your name?
Joseph Brown.
Mr. Brown, you're here in 2019 CF 6205 AO. You're arrested for petty theft, 2 prior convictions. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You're not to return back to the Publix at 400 East Central Boulevard in Orlando, Florida. You're not to have any contact with any listed victims or witnesses in that case. And then you're also here in 2016 CF 7815 AO. You were arrested pursuant to Acapius for failing to appear for a status hearing on February 11, 2019. The judge in that case revoked your release and set your bond at none. Does he have the PD in that case? No? Yeah, you have the public defender in that case, okay? And your bond on the 6205, I'm gonna stay at the $1,000, okay? Good morning, ma'am. Please tell me your name.
Hammock Rebecca.
All right, Ms. Hammock, you're here in 2019 CF 6211. You were arrested for burglary of a dwelling, grand theft third degree, and criminal mischief. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're not to return back to 2318 Valley Drive in Orlando, Florida. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. And your bond will remain set on count 1 at $5,150 on counts 2 and 3.
Your Honor, as for the PC in this case, according to the police report, the witness in this case identified 4 individuals that removed items from the home. None of them matched the description of the defendant here today. She was found in the home, perhaps the burglary there is PC for, but the other 2, according to the police report, she was not witnessed as being involved in the moving of items or the destruction of the criminal mischief. Sorry.
Ms. Kennedy Swanson, any response?
Yes, Your Honor. She was part of one of the people that were present, although she may not have been the one that individually took the items. She was part of the other people that did take the items from the house. So we would argue that the burglary, as well as the other grand theft and criminal mischief, should also be related to this defendant.
According to the eyewitness to the event, on May 1st and at an unknown time, he observed 2 white or Hispanic males and 2 black females. The defendant does not match the description of any of the individuals he observed.
Okay, I'm going to find PC. She was in the home.
Burglary, but I mean, yeah.
Right, well, I mean, you have to have either entered surreptitiously, created some sort of damage to get into the home. I mean, if you're arguing that there's no PC for the criminal mischief or the grand theft, then there wouldn't be PC for the burglary.
It
So
would be a trespass.
right, but I do find probable cause for the burglary and the other offenses. It may be a defense, but for purposes of probable cause, I do find it. The bonds will remain set. Good morning, sir. Can you please tell me your name?
Anthony Quijano.
Mr. Hernandez Mercado?
Quijano, Anthony.
Okay. Is this Mr. Hernandez Mercado, or?
This is Anthony
Okay.
Quijano.
Do we know what happened to Mr. Hernandez Mercado?
He refused,
Okay, we'll readdress him at the end. It looks like we've had to reset him a couple times. So I'm not gonna reset him just yet. All right, and Mr. Schmidt?
What's his last name? What's his last name? Eric Schmidt?
Yes.
He's still in the hospital.
Okay, we'll reset him.
Oh, okay. So I'm like, I don't know.
It was part of the, this is not the red moved up list.
Yeah, I got it.
This
Thank
is
you.
this.
Got it.
Mr. Wilson?
It's the Quijano, Q-U-I.
No, I know, I'm going in order of the cases that I have in front of me, so I need to make sure that they're being called. Does anybody know what happened to Mr. Wilson?
He's downtown court.
All right, we'll reset Mr. Wilson. All right, Mr. Quijano?
Quijano, yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
we finally got to you. Okay, You're here in 2019 CF 6278AO. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was previously found for grand theft third degree. I am going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. You're not to return back to Eye Care Professionals at 1311 East Michigan Street in Orlando, Florida. Your bond will remain set as in the warrant at $1,000. All right, please tell me your name.
Philip Scarfo.
All right, Mr. Scarfo. You're here in 2019 CF 5754AO. Looks like the state's filed in information. And you were arrested pursuant to a capias. What I have listed on the front of the warrant arrest affidavit, I'm just looking at the information. Looks as though it's just,
It was filed as a sexual battery on a
Right.
child under 12, count 1, lewd or lascivious molestation on a victim under 12, count 2, and lewd or lascivious molestation of a child under 12.
right, they're just showing different subsection, or 5B3 and 5B4 on the front of the, so I'm going by what's in the information, which are, I believe those are both life felony, well, the first one's a capital felony, and the counts 2 and 3 are both life felonies.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So probable cause has previously been found, sir, for sexual battery on a child under 12, lewd or lascivious molestation on a victim under the age of 12 for counts 2 and 3. State, do you want to be heard as to bond?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm looking at the 7-page.
I'm sorry, let me interrupt you. You do not qualify for the public defender's office, so I cannot appoint them to represent you at this time. So you are going to have to contact an attorney, okay, sir? All right.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, I'm looking at the 7-page affidavit by Officer Toledo that was submitted, or Deputy Toledo that was submitted with the information when it was filed, that this victim stated that the defendant had her touch his, she said, I think it's dangle, which according to the officers, they found it to be, based on where she was touching her private parts, and his dangle was referred to as his penis. She then said during this incident, the defendant ejaculated, and she called it the gooey stuff that went, goopy, excuse me, stuff that went on her jeans. Then the defendant ran out and took a shower. Based on the evidence in this information that was filed and the probable cause information that was cited, we believe the defendant should be held at no bond. No contact with the victim, no contact with any minor children under the age of 18, no return to the scene of incident, separate residences, no drugs, no weapons, firearms, or alcohol.
Okay. Based on the information that I have in front of me, I do not find proof evident presumption great. They tested the jeans, there was no semen found, there were no independent witnesses, there were no admissions by the defendant. I do find, obviously, probable cause has been found. Do you have any additional information that you need to present to the court?
Your Honor, state would argue that the testimony or the forensic, interview that was conducted by the victim would be enough that this happened. Obviously, when people do this with children, the child will be the only particular victim or witness in this incident. Your Honor, if Your Honor is not willing to find proof evident presumption, great. We would ask for a $100,000 bond as to count 1, $50,000 bond as to count 2, $50,000 as to count 3.
And that's exactly what I was thinking. But based on just a child's statement alone, there is no proof evident presumption great. So, Mr. Scarfo, I am going to order that you have no contact with any minor children under the age of 18. You're to have separate residences. You are not to have any contact with the victim in the case. You're not to possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. Were there any other conditions other than that? It didn't?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So I am gonna set your bond at $100,000 on count 1 and $50,000 on counts 2 and 3. And again, you'll have to contact an attorney because I cannot appoint the public defender at this time, okay?
Thank you.
Please tell me your name, sir.
My name is James Douglas Smith.
Mr. Smith. You're here in 2019 CF 5052AO. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was already found for burglary of a structure and petty theft of $100 or more. Did you fill out a form for the public defender?
No, I didn't, but I assured him that I would cooperate with his office.
Okay, well, I need to know if you qualify before I can appoint them. So, do you work?
Well, I can, no, I don't work.
Okay. Do you get any income at all?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay. I'm gonna find that you do qualify for the public defender based on your testimony. I'm gonna appoint them to represent you. You're not to return back.
I don't even know where it is.
You're not to return back to the Comfort Suites at 2416 North Orange Avenue in Orlando, Florida. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the warrant affidavit. And your bonds will remain set at $2,500 on count 1 and $150 on count 2. Okay? Please tell me your name.
Kurt Edward Altarizio.
All right, sir, you're here in 2019 CF 6296. You were arrested for burglary of a structure and criminal mischief less than 200. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're not to return back to Video Heat located at 6605 East Colonial Drive in Orlando, Florida. You're not to have any contact with any listed victims or witnesses in the case. Your bond will remain set at $3,500 on count 1 and $100 on count 2. Good morning. Please tell me your name.
Robson Charles.
We know what happened to James Brown. Okay. We'll reset Mr. Brown. All right, you're Mr. Charles? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Charles, you're here in 2019 CF 5961. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant which probable cause was previously found for 2 counts of sexual battery, grand theft third degree, and battery. I am going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. I believe state that counts 1 and 2 are both second degree felonies.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. You're not to possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. You're not to return back to the victim's residence as indicated in the warrant. You're not to have any contact with the victim whatsoever. Your bonds will remain set as in the warrant at $10,000 on counts 1 and 2, $1,000 on counts 3 and 4. cooperating. Please tell me your name, sir.
Richard Correa.
Mr. Correa, you're here in 2019 CF 2439. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was previously found for grand theft third degree and criminal mischief. I am going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're not to return back to 1526 Harston Avenue or have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. Your bond will remain set as in the warrant on count 1 at 500 and count 2 100. You're out on bond in 2019 CF 1247AO. I'm revoking the bond and setting it at none. Does he have an attorney in that case? Okay. Morning, ma'am. Please tell me your name.
Corey Cox.
All right, Ms. Cox, you're here in 2018 CF 10379AO. You were arrested pursuant to a capias for failing to appear for your case management conference on October 24, 2018. The judge revoked your bond and set your bond at none. Does she have the PD? You do have the PD already, okay? They can file any appropriate motions for you in that division. All right, sir, please tell me your name.
Chase Dow.
All right, Mr. Dow, you're here in 2019 CF 6312AO. You were arrested for burglary of an occupied structure, grand theft third degree, criminal mischief, as to a coin machine, tampering with a coin machine, and criminal mischief under $200. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're not to return back to 6145 Carrier Drive, the Westgate Resort. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. Your bonds will remain set at $5,000 on count 1, $150 on count 2, and $100 on counts 3, 4, and 5. Please tell me your name, sir. Mr. Eller? Okay. Mr. Eller, you're here in 2019 CF 6333. You were arrested for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of methamphetamine with intent to sell or deliver. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender's office. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. You're not to possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Your bond on count 1 will remain set at $5,000. Your bond on count 2 will be set at $5,000 as well.
Your Honor, I have a different number for count 2. I
Yeah,
have 100.
I'm changing it.
Okay.
Okay. Please tell me your name.
Daquan Estes, ma'am.
Mr. Esters?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're here in 2019 CF 6334. You're arrested for burglary of a structure, grand theft third degree, and conspiracy to commit grand theft. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender's office. You're not to return back to Total Wine at 4625 Millennia Plaza Way in Orlando, Florida. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim, witness, or any co-defendant that may be named. Your bonds will remain set at $3,500 on count 1, $150 on count 2, and $100 on count 3. Please tell me your name.
Donald Fraser.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes, ma'am.
You're here in 2019 CF 6310AO. You're arrested for trafficking in MDMA and battery on a law enforcement officer. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. You're not to possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Your bond will remain set at the $50,000 on count 1 and $2,500 on count 2. Please tell me your name.
Jerry Freed.
Mr. Freed, you're here in 2019 CF 5508AO. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was found for scheme to defraud, grand theft third degree, forgery, or excuse me, grand theft third degree over 10,000, forgery, and uttering a forged check. I am going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You're not to go back to any SunTrust Bank, okay? You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. Your bonds will remain set as in the warrant at $2,500 on counts 1 and 2 and $1,000 on counts 3 and 4.
I believe the next case is Mr. Henry's case.
Judge Pam Davis and Stephen Miller from the state.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Do we have Mr.?
Evidently, he refused, Your Honor. We didn't know that until,
Oh,
obviously.
okay. Well,
We
I
have
mean,
witnesses,
I'm
so-
probably gonna appoint the PD, so I don't know if they wanna hear the case today, or, I know you're here. Do we have, you have witnesses here?
We have witnesses. here for
Okay.
proof of evidence presumption.
All right, I'm gonna appoint the Public Defender's Office. He's not here because of a mental health reason. He's refusing to come. Is that
That was what
correct?
we were told, Your Honor.
Okay. So, we'll go ahead with the initial appearance, and I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent him. And he's waived his own appearance, I'm finding. So, Ms. Davis, I'm gonna call the case 2019 CF 6088. Mr. Henry was arrested pursuant to a warrant for attempted first-degree murder with a weapon, aggravated assault with a firearm, principle of first-degree shooting into an occupied dwelling, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of ammunition by a convicted felon, and reckless display of a firearm. Probable cause has previously been found. I did appoint the Public Defender's Office. I wasn't sure why there was a bond set, because it's a life felony.
Correct. We're not sure why bond was set either, Judge.
I don't know either.
And count 3 is shooting into an occupied vehicle. But we are here to present evidence for the record for proof of evidence presumption, correct?
Okay.
So I'd like to hear it. And we have documents that we provided copies to the defense. May I approach?
Sure.
Yes, Your Honor, they have provided me copies as well as allowed me to view the video.
As what?
As well as allowing me to view the video footage beforehand.
This is the affidavit for arrest warrant.
I have that, yes.
And the victim's witness ID and statement and a
Okay, I don't have those, so let me just review those quickly. Thank you.
The names have been blacked out to protect witnesses at this time.
Is this incident report is all of this contained in the warrant or no? Is this
No.
additional? Okay.
It's
I just want to make sure I wasn't reading the same thing.
It's a little bit more detailed than the affidavit for arrest warrant.
Okay.
They would call Leroy Minion.
Just ask him not to slam the door, otherwise it'll lock.
Until feeling trapped.
All right, please raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Agent Leroy Minion,
And your occupation.
Orange County Sheriff's Office. I'm with the gang unit and on the United States Marshals Task Force.
Were you responsible for investigating the incident that happened on April 22nd, 2019, here in Orange County, Florida, at the Kentucky Fried Chicken located at 7155 South OBT?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
And can you give a brief description as to what type of charge this was and you were looking into?
The call came out as a shooting at the Kentucky Fried Chicken. I responded the next day to conduct a follow-up investigation based on interviewing multiple witnesses, conducting photo lineups, watching the very violent video of the defendant. We had charged him with attempted murder and then some lesser inclusives.
Now, is there a video of this incident?
Yes, there is.
We do have a copy of the video if the court would like to see it, but the officer can describe what's on
I
it.
don't need to see it if he can describe what's on it, and I think it's in the warrant.
Agent, why don't you describe what's on the videotape as to what happened regarding this shooting?
Based on the witness testimony in the video, you see the defendant, Tommy Henry, shortly after follow a vehicle into the KFC. He drives past it, kind of looking at the vehicle, turns back around, broad day, opens fire on the vehicle. The vehicle flees in reverse. Tommy Henry then continues to go through the drive-through line, passing a clear line of sight with a witness who identified him. Once he gets a new line of sight on the vehicle that is reversing and fleeing out of the parking lot, he continues to shoot at the driver. There is a daycare in very close proximity. There was patrons, there was vehicles in the area, very violent, very, just as easy could have been a homicide case.
Now, how was Mr. Henry getting around when he was doing this shooting?
On a bicycle.
Okay. Are you familiar with Mr. Henry?
Since I've arrested him, yes. I wasn't prior to that I know of.
All right. During your investigation, did you come into contact with witnesses who were familiar with Mr. Henry?
Yes, ma'am.
And was this bicycle that was seen on the vehicle, had this bicycle been associated with Mr. Henry?
Yes.
And how is that?
I believe 2 witnesses had seen him previously on that bicycle.
Okay.
One of the witnesses had very specific knowledge of the defendant. He came into one of the places very frequently, and she saw him on several different occasions.
Now, witness number 1, were you able to interview witness number 1?
Yes, ma'am.
And was she an eyewitness to what happened here?
Yes.
And was she able to describe what she saw?
Yes, she was, and she completed a statement.
And did she identify Mr. Henry as the person that fired the shots at this vehicle?
Yes, she
at
did.
the KFC?
Yes, she did.
Okay. And did you subsequently do a lineup with her?
Yes.
And was she able to pick out Mr. Henry as the person that she saw commit this offense on the date and the information?
She identified Tommy Henry, yes.
Okay. And were you able to find a witness number 2?
I was.
Okay. And was witness number 2 able to say that they saw Mr. Henry during the time of this incident?
Witness number 2 did also the same, but he also provided me with a document that indicated it was Tommy Henry.
And did he also do a lineup?
He did not, because he provided me a document that would have tainted the lineup. It was definitively the defendant based on the document.
And were you able to track down a third witness?
I was able to track down a third witness who was in the drive-through line at the time of the shooting and had a very clear view of the defendant.
And did you do a lineup with that person?
I did.
And did that person identify Tommy Henry as the person that conducted the shooting on this date at the vehicle that we've been talking about?
The third witness didn't see the shooting, but he did see Tommy Henry coming around the corner with the gun in his hand on the bicycle after he heard shots fired.
And it would have been in the same time and close
Absolutely.
time. And this is on video corroborating what that witness said.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you recall what Mr. Henry had on the date of the shooting?
Based on the video, it appears Mr. Henry has a camouflage Orlando, I believe, Magic hat and a black T-shirt with faded blue jean shorts.
At some point, was Mr. Henry located pursuant to a warrant on this case?
Yesterday, myself and the gang unit located Mr. Henry, yes.
Okay, and tell the court about the apprehension of Mr. Henry.
We were trying to clear out the surrounding hotel rooms from where he was staying. At some point, I believe he heard us in the hallway, came out, or he heard some sort of commotion, came out, made eye contact with me. I believe he said some profanity, ran back in, basically barricaded himself in the room for a period of time of about 20 minutes. Wouldn't come out, eventually called his mother, and then we were able to talk him out. Once he was out of the hotel room, we authored a search warrant on the room, locating a very similar hat and a very similar pair of shorts.
That matched what was worn on the day of the shooting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And were there shell casings recovered at the scene?
Yes, there was, multiple.
Okay. And can you clearly see Mr. Henry actually firing shots on the video?
Based on my training experience and working a lot of firearms investigations, I believe aside from being there, it is clear based on all the facts that Mr. Tommy Henry was shooting at the people in the car.
And is Mr. Henry a convicted felon?
He is, several times over.
During your search of the hotel, did you find any casings or ammunition in the hotel?
No, ma'am.
I don't have any other questions of this witness.
Mr. Jordan, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, just for the record, the state believes we've shown proof evident presumption great. For the charges, we'd ask for the court to hold the defendant at a no bond. The defendant, in this case, also has outstanding pending cases, and we ask the court to revoke the bonds in those cases and hold him at a no bond in those cases because he has violated his conditions of release by committing new law offenses.
All right, Mr. Jordan, any argument?
Your Honor, I would ask the court to not find that the proof is evident and presumption great, given the fact that they have not heard from the witnesses themselves and the witness statements provided to the court and the defense. The witnesses' names and signatures are blacked out. As such, it's difficult to confirm whether those are signed affidavits as to the truth within. I would also point out that the officer himself and the judge, we don't have the defendant here to confirm whether the judge cannot confirm whether you recognize the defendant from the video, and no one who was at the scene is here testifying today as to recognizing the defendant.
Okay, hearsay is permitted in a bond, it's a bond hearing, so I am going to take all the evidence that was presented today. I do find proof evident presumption great. I am going to hold Mr. Henry at no bond on count 1. The remaining bonds will stay at $10,000 on count 2, $15,000 on count 3, $5,000 on counts 4 and 5, $1,000 on count 6. I am gonna also indicate he's not to have any contact with the victim or any witnesses in the case. He's not to possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. He's not to return back to that KFC located at 7155 South Orange Blossom Trail in Orlando, Florida. He's not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. And I am going to revoke the bonds in 2018 CF 9720. Is that correct? 9720. And 2018 CF 8625, I'm revoking the bonds and setting those bonds at none. Was there any other conditions, Ms. Davis?
No, Judge.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you want these back, or can I put these with the court file?
The court can.
Okay.
There you are.
Please tell me your name, ma'am.
Mary Helen James.
All right, Ms. James, you're here in 2019 CF 6311AO. You're arrested for shooting or throwing a missile into a dwelling, structure, or a vehicle. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You're not to possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. You're not to return back to 5027 West South Street in Orlando, Florida. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. Your bond will remain set at the $5,000. Please tell me your name.
Gene Watkins.
All right, sir, you're here in 2019 CF 6314AO. You're arrested for grand theft, third degree of a motor vehicle. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim, witness, or any co-defendant that may come from the case. Your bond will remain set at $1,000.
Thank you.
Please tell me your name, sir.
Joshua Kitchen.
Mr. Kitchen, you're here in 2019 CF 6321AO. You're arrested for possession of tetrahydrocannabinols and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. I do find probable cause. Did you fill out a form for the public defender?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Were you planning on hiring your own attorney?
No, ma'am.
Okay. At this time, I'm going to order that you're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. Your bond will remain set at $1,000 on count 1 and $100 on count 2. Are you planning on representing yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If the state decides to file on this and you go downtown to get arraigned, the court will go through a litany of questions with you as to whether or not you're competent to represent yourself. It's called a Feretta hearing. So I'm not going to do that today, but just make sure that you keep the clerk apprised of any of any address and phone numbers, so that if the state does file, otherwise an attorney would notify you of that. So just make sure that they have the correct address, because if you don't show up, then a capias will likely get issued and you'll be held at no bond, okay? Just want to
Okay.
make sure you understand that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? All right. Please tell me your name.
Rodrigo Lucas.
All right, Ms. Lucas, you're here in 2019 CF 6281AO. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was found for fraudulent use of personal identification and giving false name adversely affecting another. I am going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the listed victim in the case. Your bond will remain set as in the warrant at $1,000 on count 1 and $150 on count 2. Please tell me your name.
Pedro Medina.
All right, Mr. Medina, you're here in 2018 CF 12093AO. You're arrested pursuant to a capias for failing to appear for your pretrial conference on January 9th, 2019. The judge revoked your bond but set your new bonds in the amount of $2,000 on count 1 and $5,000 on count 2. If you have the public defender, you previously were appointed the public defender, okay? Huh? Oh, it's backwards, I'm sorry, it's backwards on the KPS. So count 1 is 5,000 and count 2 is 2,000. It's just reversed. Thank you. Why would they have it reversed? All right, please tell me your name.
Alexander Ragland.
All right, Mr. Ragland. You're here in what looks like 2019 CF 1746AO, but I have a note here that it was consolidated, so there's another case number? Yes. Okay, which is 2019 CF 32BO? Yes. Okay. Okay. So they did file on it, so.
When they consolidated, it's filed.
Okay, I'm just showing the warrant, that's all.
Yeah, there was 1 count of possession of firearm by conviction.
That's it? Okay. So, probable cause has previously been found, and the state has filed an information charging you with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. So it looks like they did not charge on the count 2, possession of an ammunition by a convicted felon. State, is that correct? Just want to make sure that. Right, but they filed an information, so 2019 CF 32BO is the,
Correct, I have count 1 on the BO case, that's possession of firearm, convicted felon, and that's
that's
it.
the only chart, okay. So I am gonna appoint, the
I
public,
believe
well,
he
you
is a
did not
private
fill out a form. You have a private attorney? Did they file a notice of appearance?
I have a Lisa McLean.
Okay. So you do have an attorney. You're not to have any contact with any of the individuals that were located as well in the vehicle. Anybody listed in the warrant. You're not to possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Your bond will remain set at the $10,000. So no action on count 2 because the state did not file on it.
Correct, Your Honor.
Any of the listed individuals in the vehicle or in the warrant. Please tell me your name.
Tiberius Ratliff.
Mr. Ratliff, you're here in 2019 CF 6304AO. You're arrested for possession of MDMA ecstasy. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender's office. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. Your bond will remain set at the $1,000. Please tell me your name.
Alberto Brandi Rivera.
Mr. Rivera, you're here in 2019 CF 6292AO. You're arrested for driving while license suspended with 2 prior convictions, possession of heroin, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. You're not to drive without a valid license. Your bonds will remain set at $2,500 on count 1, $150 on count 2, and $100 on count 3. Please tell me your name.
Jacob Scott.
Mr. Scott, You're here in 2019 CF 1165AO. You're arrested pursuant to a capias. Looks like the state filed an information charging you with grand theft third degree of a motor vehicle.
Yes, ma'am.
I am gonna, and the probable cause has been found by a judge. I'm gonna appoint the public defender's office. You're not to return back to 4337 King Edward Drive. I believe that's in Orlando, Florida. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. You're not to possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. And I'm not gonna take any action on the out on bond case because I believe the offense in the warrant occurred before.
Yeah, this occurred before.
Yeah.
So does that mean my bond, I still have my bond?
What is the bond in this case?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's 2,500, what was in the capias.
Thank you.
Please tell me your name, sir.
Eldrick Smith.
Mr. Smith, you're here in 2019 CF 5888. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Probable cause has previously been found. I am going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're not to possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. You're not to return back. Well, the warrant says no return to the scene, but I'm not specifically, I don't know if there's a specific address. Looks like it happened. State, do you know of any particular address?
Ma'am, none of this never happened.
Don't talk about the facts of the case, Mr. Smith. I just can't find an address. Looks like it's just West Anderson at Lee Court, West Anderson Road at Lee Court. So don't go back to that intersection.
Is the court ordering him not to drive on that road or no return?
Well, it's the court who signed the warrant said no return to the scene. I'm trying to figure out where that is.
Right.
I'm trying to find the address. It's not, we don't have a separate address in our system, Your Honor.
Right.
I guess
So
it's just
I
West
really, I'm
Court.
not gonna impose a no return to scene. I don't know the specific address. So just no weapons, firearms, or ammunition. No contact with any listed victim or witness. Do we know what's going on with his out on bond? Case 2933.
I don't see the state's made a charging decision in the 19 CF 2933 case.
Okay, I'm not gonna take any action, Mr. Smith, in that case, but don't come back, because if you do, I will revoke the bonds, okay? Sorry. Yes, the bond will be stayed as in the warrant at 2,500, okay? Please tell me your name.
Harry Smith.
All right, Mr. Smith, you're here in 2018 CF 14326. You were arrested pursuant to a capias for failing to appear for your case management conference on February 18, 2019. The judge revoked your release, revoked your ROR, and set your bond at none. Does he have the PD? Yes. Previously, the PD was appointed. Mr. Smith, if Mr. Jordan's telling you that there's nothing that I can do about the capias amount, he's right. I can't touch the capias. He's not lying to you. Your attorneys will have to file a motion with the court, okay? I'm not permitted by law to change that, okay? He's telling you the truth, okay?
Okay, I didn't know.
All right. All right, please tell me your name.
Antonio Stevens.
All right, Mr. Stevens, you're here in 2019 CF 6302AO. You're arrested for possession of tetrahydrocannabinols, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, and giving false information to law enforcement. I do find probable cause for your arrest, sir. I am going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you in that case, as well as in, well, it looks like we don't have a case number for the no valid DL because there's no citation. So I find probable cause for it, but there's no citation. I'm gonna ROR you on the no valid DL. I'm gonna appoint the PD. No drugs, no illegal substances without a valid prescription. And you're out on bond in 2019 CF 1510AO. I am revoking the bond and setting it at none. Sorry, I keep forgetting to do that. So, yeah, I'm staying the bonds at $1,000 and $100 on counts 2 and 3. What would I do without you? It's been a long week. I'm losing my mind. All right, please tell me your name.
Clifford Stevens.
Mr. Stevens, you're here in 2019 CF 6127. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was found for fleeing and attempting to elude a law enforcement officer, possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver, possession of heroin, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, tampering with physical evidence, driving while license suspended with knowledge, and resisting an officer without violence. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. You're not to drive without a valid license. Your bond on count 1 will be $15,000. Your bond will stay at $7,500 on count 2. I'm reducing count 3 to $150, reducing count 4 to $100, reducing count 5 to $150, reducing count 6 to $100, and reducing count 7 to $100.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Please tell me your name, sir.
Peter John Vecchia.
All right, you're here in 2019 CF 6290AO. You're arrested for burglary of a structure, grand theft third degree, and criminal mischief. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. In that case, you're not to return back to the scene at 1901 West Oak Ridge Road, the Economy Farmers Market. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. Staying the bonds at $3,500 on count 1, $150 on counts 2 and 3. You're also here in 2019 CF 6094. I'm going to appoint the PD probable cause has previously been found pursuant to a warrant. Again, you're not to return back to the scene. I believe it's the same address, that Economies Farmers Market at 1901 West Oak Ridge Road. No contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. And the bonds will remain set as in the warrant at $3,500 on count 1, $1,000 on count 2, and $500 on count 3. Please tell me your name.
Luis Velez Perez. I know
All right.
trying to get home so I can keep with my family.
Sir, you're here in 2019 CF 6336. You're arrested for possession of synthetic cannabinoids, trafficking in a controlled substance more than 4 grams, and possession of a controlled substance with intent to sell or deliver. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. You're not to have any contact with any of the other individuals. I don't know if they're going to be listed as, well, there's a co-defendant, Mr. James Brown. You're not to have any contact with Mr. Brown.
May I inquire whether pretrial services, does he qualify?
Why they lighted me down there?
This isn't,
He has an extensive convictions for drugs, two killings to appear, so last one was back in 2016. We have no emergency contact, and that would be the discretion of the judge, but not on a trafficking charge.
looks like the listed bond schedule is actually $100,000 on. I'm not finding that that's a reasonable bond for the offense. I think that
Not sure why it is said.
well, it's because they charge it as trafficking in a controlled substance over 4 grams. So that's why it's $100,000. The $50,000 was, there's a corrected bond schedule. In light of the facts of the case, I am gonna stay the bond on count 1 at $1,500. Count 2, I'm gonna reduce to $15,000, and count 15,000. And count 3, I'm gonna set at $1,500 as well.
They can make this more than happy.
Please tell me your name.
Damon Williams, ma'am.
Mr. Williams, you're here in 2019 CF 6320AO. Excuse me. You're arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver, and possession of a controlled substance. I do find probable cause. You do not qualify for the Public Defender's Office, but you're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. Your bond will remain set at $100, on count 1, $1,000 on count 2, and $150 on count 3. You're out on bond in 2019 CF 2410AO for the same offense. So I am revoking the bond and setting it at none. And I'm gonna appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you in this case. based on the fact that you're gonna be held at no bond.
Yes, ma'am.
Please tell me your name.
Rebecca Bostick.
All right, Ms. Bostic, you're picked up on an out-of-county warrant out of Sarasota County,
Yes, ma'am.
and it looks like your bond is set at $100. So, Sarasota County, if you can't bond out, has 72 hours to come and pick you up. That does not include the weekends, okay? Please tell me your name.
Good morning, Your Honor. Sandra Vicente. How are you, sweetheart?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. I really am.
All right, ma'am, you're here on an out-of-county warrant out of Volusia County.
Yes.
And it looks like the bond in that case is set at $5,000. Volusia County has 72 hours to pick you up if you can't bond out. I'm not gonna take any action on any of that cases that you're out on pretrial release or bond on, because I have no idea what happened in Volusia County.
You know what? Thank you.
So.
This is a blessing.
Well, I don't think that I can, legally speaking, so, but if you come back on a new law offense,
No,
You're-
I can promise you on this.
okay,
It's,
just make sure that you don't come back on a new law offense,
no, no,
okay?
no. So just go ahead and bond out and go.
If you can bond out, yeah, if not, Volusia has 72 hours to come and pick you up, okay?
Thank
And
you
that
from
does
last
not
time, and
include the
thank you.
weekends. I don't know how to fill this out because I can't take any action at all anyway. Original? Okay. Yeah, because it's like, oh. It's 2019 too. Does she need this? I mean, I can't take any action on it anyway, so I don't know why I would even need to fill out a form, because there's no new law violation. I'm just not sure why I would need the form anyway, but, okay. Okay, right.
Okay, yes. Neal
It's just
is a
confusing.
felony now, so you can't have any action on that. It's 19 CF 6392. And no objection to Simpson. It's like here it is, 2 days ago, or the second. According to our system, it was filed the first, but.
Looks
Yeah,
like,
see.
is this Mr. Neal? Are you
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Neal?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, your attorneys have filed a motion for release in your own recognizance or an alternative to reduce bond in 19 MM 3087AO. I'm showing that this was transferred to Circuit Court
Correct, Your Honors.
to 2019 CF 6352AO.
Correct, Your Honor.
Yesterday?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So it's been transferred to a felony.
I believe the defense will have to file the motion in the circuit court.
Yeah, I can't hear a felony motion. But it was filed I think before this was filed on the 1st, and then they filed the information yesterday, so.
According to our system, we sent it over on the first,
Oh,
it didn't
okay.
show up until the
Yeah.
second on the
It's
clerk's
just
site. but-
logged into the clerk's on the 2nd.
Yeah.
So I can't take any action on the felony. I can't hear a felony bond hearing here. So I'll just take no action on the motion. So you'll just have to file a motion downtown, and it looks like Division 22, Judge LeBlanc, okay?
Thank you.
So I'll just take no action.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, is Mr. Simpson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you pull up your case.
I believe the state had no objection on Mr. Simpson's case.
All right, based on my review and this state not objecting, I will grant your motion, Mr. Simpson. Just make sure you keep all your court dates and that the Office of the Public Defender has a way of getting in touch with you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Because if you miss a court date, you're probably gonna get a capias and then you'll be held no bond and you don't want that, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right? Miss Taylor. All right, I'm gonna start with the conflict and the private attorney
Did we ever
33.
readdress the?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Hernandez Mercado?
Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor.
Mr. Hernandez Mercado in 2019 CF 6169AO. I believe this has been reset. This is the third reset?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, he was arrested, well, I'm gonna appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent him in both of the cases. Mr. Jordan, do you wanna waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, he was arrested for possession of cocaine. I do find probable cause. I've appointed the public defender. They're gonna waive his appearance. He is not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. I'm gonna state the bond at $1,000. In 2019 CF 6167AO, he was arrested for purchase of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver, and possession of cocaine. I do find probable cause. Appointed the public defender. They've waived his appearance, his bond. He's not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. His bond will remain set at the $15,000 on count 1, $1,000 on count 2. He's out on release. In 2019 CF 2277AO. I'm revoking the bond and setting it at none. He does have the PD in that case. Okay. 2019 CF 4400 Gabrielle Michon Oliver. This is Mr. Verrett filed it.
That should be granted. The state has not made a charging decision.
That will be granted. (2019) CF 4280AO, Mr. James Lowe. That was filed by Attorney Blanco.
That should be granted. Your Honor, the state has not made a charging decision.
That will be granted. All right. 2019 CF 4507AO Jordan DeAndre Trent.
That should be denied. The state filed an information on 5/2.
That will be denied. 2019 CF 4433AO Luckner Kadu.
That should be denied. The state filed an information on 5/2.
That will be denied. 2019 CF 4245AO Jose Manuel Sanchez.
That should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day on 4/23.
That will be granted. 2019 CF 4517AO Sardal Argion Leonard.
According to the state's calculator, the 33rd day is not until 5/5.
Corrections, do you know if that's, I just want to make sure those are the correct, let me pull it up. He was arrested on April 2nd. So what's 30 days from that? I don't know. I'm not good at math.
I'm gonna do the date. I'm just gonna run it through the app.
Yeah.
We'll add 30 days from the date of arrest, not including the day, first date.
Right.
And I have it. 4/2. I'm sorry, I said May 2nd. Hold on here. I have 5/5 when I run it again. To make it 5/6 because that would be a Sunday.
So today is the 31st day.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Jordan?
I believe it was filed on the 30th day. The motion was filed on the 30th day.
We're not saying that the motion was filed
But
inappropriately.
you get three,
We
yeah,
get
the
3
state
days.
gets 3 days notice.
So
So
it would still be
technically,
Monday.
yeah.
It would be Monday.
So I will deny that. You can refile it.
I would just ask them to reset it for a hearing for Monday.
Yeah, the state gets the 3 days from the date that,
Can we reset the motion to be
yeah,
heard
just have
on
to
Monday?
refile the motion.
Okay.
It's not the motion,
I'll
it's
let them
we
know.
file a notice of hearing and then
Yeah.
it gets set for.
Well, I'm denying it
Oh, you
today.
did? Okay.
But you can refile it on the correct day. I'll just put,
So come on the add-on
I'll
document.
just put untimely set for hearing on the
Correct.
motion, on the order. 2019 CF 4518AO Ricardo Augusto and Garcia.
That should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day on 5/2.
That will be granted. 2019 CF 3051AO Elijah Justin Parker.
That should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day on 5/2.
That will be granted. 2019 CF 1216AO Marcus Antone Williams.
That should be granted. The state filed a notice of non-filing before the 33rd day on 5/1.
That will be granted. Anything further until,
Don't believe so, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
okay, all right, we'll be in recess until this afternoon. right, this is session 2, courtroom 1, Judge Wish. It's May 3rd, 2019. Can I have the parties please announce themselves for the record?
Happy Kennedy Swanson on behalf of the Office of the State Attorney.
Cody Jordan with the Public Defender's Office. I just did.
Huh? We're just waiting.
I believe I did state on the record that it's
Oh.
Cody Jordan with the Public
No,
Defender's
no, I'm not waiting for you.
Oh, okay.
I'm just waiting for the
The way you were looking
people.
expectantly.
No, the door's right behind you, so like I'm staring
Kinda
you.
looks
I'm
expectantly in this direction. I was like,
staring you down, Mr. Jordan.
Oh,
All right, please tell me your name.
Christopher Michael Hostiller.
Mr. Hostetler, you're here in 2019 MO 825AO. You're arrested for disorderly conduct. I do find probable cause. Did you fill out a form for the public defender?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I've already been in about 4 days.
Okay, I'm gonna find that you qualify for the public defender's office and appoint them to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Hostetler?
There is not, Your Honor.
Okay.
My brother's an Air Force pilot.
All right, sir, I'm gonna stay your bond at the $250.
Okay, am I allowed to use the phone? Mr. Corus Locos Baker Act Center.
Should be able to use the phone. Should be no problem with using the phone. You can't go back, sir,
Okay.
to 21 South Orange Avenue. You can't have any contact with the victim in the case. You're out on bond.
Concord Street, that's Billy's family donated a lot of money to that, and I don't know if he's alive or dead.
You're out on bond, sir, in 2019 CF 4869AO, and the facts of this case warrant me to revoke that bond, or excuse me, ROR, and set it at no bond. And I believe he was just recently arrested for trespass on 4/24/19 too, so. But you do have the public defender in both cases. All right, please tell me your name.
No contest, ma'am.
Mr. Antoine?
No contest.
Okay, is that your name, Mr. Antoine?
No contest.
Okay. Mr. Anton, you're here in 2019 CF 6324AO. You're arrested for possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. Did you fill out a form for the public defender?
No.
Okay. Do you want me to see if you qualify?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right. I'm going to order that you're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. Your bond will stay set at $1,000 on count 1 and $100 on count 2. We'll just set him for a DOC hearing in a week to see if he's still in there. Thank you. All right, please tell me your name.
Lee Darius Bagley.
Mr. Bagley, you're here in 2019 CF 6326AO. You're arrested for grand theft third degree of a motor vehicle. I do find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you in that case, as well as in your violation of probation in 2017 CF 15810AO. In the grand theft, you're not to have any contact with any listed victim, witness, or any co-defendant, if there is any. Looks like Mr. I don't know if there's a co-defendant. It's listing him as the co-defendant, but any other individual named in the affidavit. Your bond will remain set at the $1,000. In the VOP, the bond will be set at none, and I'm appointing the PD in that, and you should be seen by Judge Whitehead on that case in a week to 10 days, okay? Please tell me your name.
Marshall Finn.
Mr. Fenn, you're here in 2019 CF 5717AO. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was previously found for burglary of a structure and attempted burglary of an occupied dwelling. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You're not to return back to 595 South Binion Road, and you're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. Your bonds will remain set as in the warrant at $1,000 on each count. Please tell me your name, sir.
George Hall.
Mr. Hall? All right, Mr. Hall, you're here in 2018 CF 13490AO. Looks like they filed an on-view violation of probation, and you do, I believe, have reporting requirements in that case. And your bond will be set at none in that case. You should be seen by Judge Whitehead in a week to 10 days. In 2019 MO 830AO, you're arrested for camping and state misdemeanors. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the Public Defender's Office as well. I'm not sure if he wants to resolve
I don't
that.
believe so.
Yeah, I don't believe so. So I'm just going to stay the bond on count 1 at $250, and I'll reduce count 2 to $100. Please tell me your name.
Mario Lawson.
All right, Mr. Lawson, you're here in 2019 CF 6327AO. You're arrested for tampering with physical evidence, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, possession of drug paraphernalia. Do you find probable cause? I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office. Your bond is going to stay at $1,000 on count 1 and $100 on counts 2 and 3. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription, okay? All right, please tell me your name.
Kenneth Nicholas.
Mr. Nicholas, you're here in 2019 CF 6325AO. You were arrested for possession of heroin, possession of drug paraphernalia, and camping in a prohibited place. I do find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal substances. I'm going to place you in pretrial release, okay? Just need pretrial release. You won't have to post a bond. Just need to make sure you comply with all of their requirements, okay?
Okay.
And keep in touch with the Office of the Public Defender. Okay?
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Okay. All right, please tell me your name.
Keisha Viper.
Miss Pfeiffer. You're here in 2019 CF 6331AO. You were arrested for fleeing and eluding an officer with lights and sirens activated. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your bond will be set at $15,000. And you're out on bond in 2019 CF 107AO. I am revoking the bond and setting it at none. Do we know if she has the PD?
Yes, Your Honor, I actually wanted to talk about that. She doesn't have any failure to appears. There was a bit of time between these two incidents as well. They also seem, unrelated.
Well, part of her conditions of release are not to pick up new law violations, and in this case, it's pretty serious new law violation, so I'm inclined to revoke the bond. And she's out on trafficking in heroin with a firearm, possession of cocaine, carrying concealed firearm, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. So I am going to revoke the bond. However, your office can file any appropriate motions in that division. She does have the PD though? Okay. All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Excuse me?
Mr. Xavier?
Yes, ma'am.
You're here in 2019 CF 4531AO. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was previously found for fleeing and attempting to elude an officer, driving while license suspended with 2 prior convictions, possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver, reckless driving, and resisting an officer without violence. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your bonds will remain set as in the warrant at $5,000 on count 1, $1,000 on count 2, $1,000 on count 3, and $250 on counts 4 and 5. You're also out on bond in 2018 CF 14910AO. I am revoking the bonds and setting it at none.
Your Honor, I'd make the same arguments as I previously did. These are, what he's on bond for is far less serious, and his last failure to appear was 9 years ago.
Well, the failures to appear aren't what causes me to revoke a bond.
understand.
It's the new law offenses and the facts of both of the cases which I've looked at. He's out on bond for battery on a law enforcement officer, resisting without, possession of cannabis. So part of that is not to commit new law offenses and come back to the court. But any appropriate motions can be filed. All right, please tell me your name.
Eric Davis.
All right, Mr. Davis. You're here in 2019 CT 3551. You're arrested for driving while license suspended. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you.
Mr. Davis, the state has no objection to ROR.
Okay. I'm gonna ROR you, Mr. Davis. No drugs, no possession of any illegal drugs without a valid prescription, okay? And no driving without a valid license. Make sure you go to all your court dates, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I give a case number for Mr. Davis, Your Honor?
Sorry?
Can I get his case number?
2019 CT 3551.
Thank you.
All right, please tell me your name.
My name is Triton Hamilton.
All right, Mr. Hamilton. You're here in 2019 CT 3352. You were arrested for no valid driver's license. And I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender's office. You're not to drive without a valid license. In 2019 MO 8290, you're arrested for state misdemeanors. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender's office. I don't know if there's an offer from the state to resolve, but I think, is he on active community control?
Yes, there's a 5-day-old.
Okay, so it's probably
There is
not.
no offer, Your Honor.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna stay the bond at the $500 on the no valid driver's license and the $250 on the state misdemeanors, okay?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, what was that, on the first charge?
No, 500.
Thank you.
Not to possess any illegal substances without a valid prescription, sorry. Yes, I stay the bonds. All right, please tell me your name.
Marlon Hart.
All right, Mr. Hart, you're here because you were picked up on an out-of-county warrant out of Pinellas County. And it looks like your bond is $2,013. And so Pinellas County has 72 hours to come and get you if you can't bond out, and that does not include the weekends, okay?
Absolutely.
So if you can bond out, you can bond out. If they haven't picked you up, you'll come back in front of me or another judge. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Please tell me your name.
Eric Bowers.
All right, Mr. Bowers, you're here in 2019 MO 831. You were arrested for camping. I do find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender. Is there an offer for Mr. Bowers if he wanted to resolve his case today?
There was not, Your Honor. His last name was Bowers?
Bowers? Eric Bowers?
I don't have a Bowers.
Is this Mr. Bowers? Okay. Okay.
I don't have any information on him.
Okay.
Can I get a case number and I'll see if I can just look it up?
2019 MO 831. I don't I don't have a face sheet for him.
Yes, I know.
Well, okay, well, you have Bowers, right? Okay, all right. How many days does he have in? 1, 2?
1.
Okay.
I look quiet. I have no
I don't know
idea.
if you were looking up a history or anything like that.
That can be the history.
Okay.
From what we have here, Your Honor. No other states. He does have 2 failure to appears, but the last one was back in June of 2016. 3 misdemeanors, no felonies, no incarcerations. He just has convictions for no valid driver's license and the 12s.
Okay. You want to plead a time served, Mr. Bowers?
Sorry.
If you want to enter a plea, I'll give you time served. And I would have to impose court costs.
I just want to make sure I'm clear. If you give me a plea,
He's here on 2 child support.
I don't know anything about any of the other cases, so if he's being held on anything, I don't even have a face sheet. so. So if he's on probation, I don't know anything. Okay. Is he being, you said something about him being held on something else?
Yes, he's here on 2 child support rates, one for 1,200 and one for 500.
Okay, all right.
And I believe he does want to get out, Your Honor. He,
Okay.
in order to.
Well, I don't know if he'd be able to get out without paying the child, I think he has a purge
Is he currently
amount.
being held on that?
I think he will, he'll be held on it until he pays it, I believe. If it's a, okay, yeah, I don't know, but it's usually the purge amount that they have to pay to get out. It's not a criminal. It's civil, so.
I can't pay the purge amount.
I know, but I have nothing to do with that. We're only here on the camping charge, and I think she said you go to court on Monday for it? Okay.
So I just have to stay here and to see the judge on that
Yeah,
Monday.
it's totally different case, and I don't have anything to do with that, so, but if you want to plea to this, you're more than welcome to plea, and I'll give you time served, and I'd have to impose court costs. I'd give you a year to pay them off.
Okay, that's fine, man.
Okay?
Public defender was appointed, Your Honor.
I did, yes. Thank you. All right, Mr. Bowers, do you want to enter a plea of no contest?
Yes.
Okay. I'm showing you the plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything contained within the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I do find a factual basis for you to enter the plea based on the affidavit. I am going to adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 1 day in the Orange County Jail with credit for the 1 day you've served. I do have to impose court costs. I'm going to order that you pay those by May 3rd, 2020. It gives you a year to pay them off. If you want to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Okay, sir? All right, please tell me your name.
Spencer Adam Call.
All right, Mr. Call, you're here in 2019 MO 832. You were arrested for disorderly conduct and state misdemeanors. Did you fill out a form for the public defender?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I don't have one.
Oh, well, I'm
you-
not sure if she filled it out or not, ma'am.
Okay.
I talked to her, though.
Do you want to see if the state has an offer to resolve your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Adjudication 3 days.
And so you have 1 day in, so the state's offers an adjudication of guilt, 3 days with 1 day, and I think you would get out tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So, and I would have to impose court costs.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Yeah, I got you. I mean, I'm gonna have to pay whatever. ma'am.
I'll give you a
know-
year to pay it off.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you want to enter the plea, and you
Yes.
want to do so without an attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'll have you sign that plea form.
United States citizen has been subject to
Thank you. All right, Mr. Call, do you want to enter a no contest plea?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm showing you this plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything contained within the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I do find a factual basis for you to enter the plea to both counts based on the affidavit. I am going to adjudicate you guilty on both counts, sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail with 1 day credit for time served, and those will run concurrent. I have to impose court costs. I'm going to order you pay those by May 3rd, 2020, okay? It gives you a year to pay them off. If you want to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one would be appointed for you. Good luck to you. All right, please tell me your name.
Junior Vincent, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Vincent, you're here in 2019 MO 833. You're arrested for camping in a prohibited place. I do find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office. Is there an offer for Mr. Vincent?
Adjudication 3 days.
He has 1 day, 2, so you would get out today.
Okay. All right.
And
I gotta go to work tomorrow morning.
Okay, I don't know when you'll get out today, but I'm being told you will get out today,
I
okay?
get out today?
That's what I'm being told.
Okay.
I have no control over the doors outside, but if that's what they're telling me, I believe them. Yes.
He said he has credit for 2 days. He'll be released this
Yeah,
afternoon.
he'll get out today.
You sure I get out today?
That's what they're telling me, Frank Jones?
You sure I get out today?
I'm sure.
Okay. I just started work yesterday. I missed a day and I don't wanna miss tomorrow.
Okay,
Let the
I think
rec-
we're all in agreement that you'll get out today.
Okay.
Let the record show that the expectation from the defense is that he will get out this evening.
I have not heard of anybody not getting out when they're supposed to get out or when corrections tells me they're gonna get out,
What
so, Mr. Vincent, do you wanna enter a no contest plea?
Yes.
All right, I'm showing you this plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom?
I never signed, well, I guess,
The
yeah.
form that you just signed, they
Yeah,
just
yeah,
handed
yeah,
it to
yeah.
me? Is this your signature?
Yeah.
Okay, did you understand everything that was contained within the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No.
Okay. Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I do find a factual basis for you to enter the plea based on the affidavit. I am going to adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You will get out today.
Okay.
And I do have to impose court costs. I'm going to order that you pay those by May 3rd, 2020, okay? It gives you a year to pay them off. If you want to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, okay, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is Mr. McKay? Okay, I'm just gonna call the case because it's an out-of-county warrant. It's 2018 1975566 out of Volusia County. And Mr. McKay was picked up on the out-of-county warrants. It looks like there's 2, and the first one has a $10,000 bond on it. And the second one has a $5,000 bond, and so Volusia County, are they both Volusia? Yes. Okay. Volusia County has 72 hours to come and pick them up, and that does not include the weekends. All right. Anything else? Going, gone. All right, we'll be in recess until tomorrow, but I won't be here.